Welcome to story time, people, even though it's an hour and a half late. Anyway, we're going to call this, Wait, What? The Stuffed Animals Return. We're just going to start all the way from the beginning and get everybody updated. Once upon a time, on a mountain, there was a girl, and she bought a bunch of property. And it came with a lot of great surprises, like a bunch of big waterfalls, 2 of them to be exact, something she didn't even know she was going to get. And then she went out to find this waterfall, and another strange surprise that she ended up getting was the fact that beside the waterfall, there was a hose pipe in the creek. So she could see one end of the hose pipe going in the dirt and the other not. So she began to wonder, are there moonshiners up here? So she called the revenuers up and asked them to give her an update whenever they found something. She never heard from them again. Even still, the property was one of her favorites. Actually, it was her only favorite because it was the only one she bought. And it came with a lot of great surprises, like pretty flowers she had never seen before. But I must say, things took a strange turn after a while. Because even though her property had a lot of great features, like many rocks that she could eventually do something with, she would later find something that brought about strange, mysterious sightings on her adventures there. She first found a stuffed bear that was buried in the mud, and that didn't bother her considering the fact that she saw kids playing in the mud last year during the summer. It didn't bother her at all. However, as time passed, she noticed that while she'd be working on one side or on one section of the property, the next week she would find a stuffed animal that she had not dug up laying on that property or that section she was working at the week before. As time passed, she landed with 6 stuffed animals. Only one of them she dug up. The others, she didn't know where they came from. So finally she went to the police. She had to know just what was going on. And even the police said, that's weird. So she kept the property because it was cheaper than rent, and it was pretty. However, there was something waiting for her at the top of the hill. At the top of the hill, where she had kept all of her rocks, she found 1 or 2 in particular that really stood out to her. Whenever she found them, they were sitting in the dirt with just a little bit of it poking out. And when she dug it up, they were at least 2 feet long. Had she stumbled on an unmarked grave? What now? Is what this girl thought. Just what could she possibly have now? So even still, she continued with her property. She really liked it. It was so pretty. But then things started to get a little weird. Because as time passed on, she noticed that she hardly saw the neighbor's husband anymore. She did see him whenever he had spoke to her. He said, "How many stuffed animals you got now?" She told him 6. And when she told him that she had told the police to arrest whoever was putting them out there, because she had no idea where they were coming from, she noticed how he stuttered so much. That was the last she ever saw stuffed animals. But then once the summer started, she noticed that there were always 2 cars that would come every day to his property, to his yard. The girls were always dressed in scrubs. But she never saw the neighbor's husband again. The last she saw him, he was out working in the yard. Weeks had passed, and she found more stuffed animals. She first found a stuffed raccoon, but oddly enough, 20 minutes after that, she found a real raccoon crossing the street. If you recall, the first stuffed animal that she ever found was a stuffed bear. The day before she saw the raccoon walking across the street, she had seen a real bear walking across another street that was further out her subdivision. The day after she saw the raccoon crossing the street, she went up to the top of her hill, and that's when she saw a real live turtle. Now, if you recall, one of the first stuffed animals that she had seen was a stuffed turtle. But then one late June day, the neighbor's wife came out. That's when she told her that her husband had passed away the Friday before. The two chatted for a while, and that's whenever the girl told the wife about the stuffed animals that kept appearing out of nowhere, and that she had told the police about it because the girl felt like she was being stalked. She assumed that it was the neighbor's husband. Once the neighbor's husband or the neighbor's wife heard that, she said, "Oh no, if my husband was doing that, I'd have killed him. Or I would have, can't now," were her exact words, as if no remorse. She then stated as she left the conversation, she said, "Well, I have a lot of other things to take care of after this stupid mourning is over." Since when is mourning for your loved one stupid? However, later that afternoon, the girl found a bone in the ground. Considering all the stuff that she had found earlier, she finally got to the point she called the police. She had to know just what was going on. She had already talked to the Historical Society. She had already talked to the museum. She finally brought the police out there. She told them about the stuffed animals that she had found. She told them the fact that the neighbor's wife didn't think it was the neighbor's husband who was out putting the stuffed animals. The police disagreed. He believed that it was the neighbor's husband who was putting stuffed animals out just to creepinate the place. However, the girl found it very strange that the day she finds a bone in the yard is the same day she was informed the neighbor's husband had passed away. She had found a turtle, and she had also found a stuffed turtle. She had found a raccoon. She had found a stuffed raccoon. She had seen a live bear, and she had a stuffed bear. You know, people, a lot of weird things are happening in the mountains these days. And I know it's way past 10 o'clock. My question to you is, just where are your kids? Y'all playing with stuffed animals? You might want to rethink that. Have a good night.